Hey guys, so I've got a little bit of a different video for y'all today, which y'all can probably tell from the title of the video. I don't normally do vlogs or like vlog type videos, but I'm gonna try to experiment a little today because I've got an idea for a vlog, hence the vlog video. So this year I decided to take part in the Whateverathon, which is this readathon where you get points for reading books and like meeting your goals. When I realized that the goal for the readathon was to read like more shorter books so that you get more points easily, I came up with this idea because I was looking on my shelves for like short books. And I realized that I had a lot of books that are like really short, or like more graphic novels or comic books, or even just short stories, novellas, or I even have a manga here. But basically, it's a rare Saturday where I don't have to work and I don't have anyone else in the house with me and I don't really have to go anywhere or do anything. So I came up with the brilliant idea of reading 10 books in a day. Now I say books, they're not like full-length novels. A lot of these, the longest format is just a novella, like a short novella. But a lot of these are just like graphic novels or comic books or short stories. So they're not actual books, but I still thought it would be a neat idea to like complete 10 things in a day. And like I said, it's Saturday morning. I've got nothing to do, nowhere to go. So I figured this would be a great day to try to accomplish that. And basically at the beginning of this vlog type video, I'm just gonna show off the books that I could potentially read today. I've got 13 books. A lot of them are actually by George R.R. Martin. I'm just gonna go through these very quickly, and then the rest of the video will be me reading. It'll be me reading and updating y'all on the books that I read throughout the day. And I'm sure I'll throw my pets in there, you know, because they're cute, right? But enough about that. Let me just show off the books that I could potentially read here. I've got 13 of them. Probably not going to get to all 13, but like I said, the goal is to get to at least 10 of them. That would be nice. But if I don't, who cares? And the first one that I'm probably going to do this morning, just because I had the audiobook for, and I can kind of listen to it while I do stuff around the house, is The Test by Sylvain Neville, one of my favorite authors. And I've actually read all of his books this year. I reread The Themis Files, which is like my favorite trilogy of all time. And then I reread A History of What Comes Next, and then I read the sequel, Until the Last of Me. So this is the only other book he has out, so that'd be a cool thing to just say that I read all of his books this year. So, and then I've got a little novella by Stephen Graham Jones called Sterling City. I don't really know too much about this. I think it's about like farming or something, but it'll be fun to try to get to this one. And like I said, it's very short. It's like 70 pages, so that won't take very long. And then I've got Dan Wells' Next of Kin, which is extremely short. It says it's a novella, but really it's a short story because it's only like 33 pages. Basically, it takes place after the original John Cleaver trilogy and then like right before the second trilogy. I've never read it, so it'll be fun to jump back into John Cleaver. And then this one's a maybe. If I have time, I'll get to it, but it's the longest one in here. And that would be Parasite, which is a manga. It's supposed to be a really good horror manga to like get someone into horror manga. So I've never read a manga, 270 pages, but of course like it's mostly pictures, right? So it really shouldn't take that long, but I'm probably gonna wait to the end just to see if I can actually get to it, because a lot of these other ones I know are gonna be like super short. Like this one, The Ice Dragon by George R.R. Martin. So this was originally a short story he wrote back in either the late 70s, early 80s, and it's about the ice dragon. And he basically took this short story and made it into like a kind of a graphic novel kind of deal with like really cool blue and white pictures throughout the book. And it's one of my favorite George R.R. Martin stories, and like I said, it's a short story, so I can read it in like an hour, maybe a little less. So that'll be fun. Also, I've also got Ray Bradbury, Dinosaur Tales, which was gladly gifted to me by Andrew from Andrew Lee, the Andrew Lee Wizard Reads. But yeah, you know who I'm talking about. Yeah, he gifted this to me for my birthday. I love Ray Bradbury. I actually haven't read a lot of Ray Bradbury in the past year or so, so it'd be fun to jump back into this. I know I've read a couple of the stories in here before, but there's going to be some ones that are brand new to me, so that'll be fun. And then basically the rest of these are random George R.R. Martin stuff that I want to get to, including In the House of the Worm, which is a comic book that's based on a story that he wrote back in the 80s. Really weird one. Like, I mean, if you look at the... And then if you look at the back, it's a weird story, but I think it'll be fun to get the, you know, kind of the comic book version of it. Speaking of, you know, George R. Martin, Skin Trade, which is... This is his werewolf novella that he wrote back in the 80s, and then he turned it into a comic book. Daniel Abraham, recognize that name. He's done a lot of like George R. R. Martin adaptations of like his stuff made into like graphic novels or comic books. So you'll probably see that name throughout the video. But yeah, Skin Trade, really good werewolf novella. Meat House Man, one of the most fucked up stories you'll ever read. And yeah, it's a short story turned into just a little comic book, so it really won't take that long to get to. And I've read it before, but it'd be fun to revisit that. And then I've got two really cool graphic novels based on A Night of the Seven Kingdoms by George R. R. Martin, which are the 3 Dunk and Egg novellas that are sort of prequels to A Song of Ice and Fire. I went ahead and got the graphic novel versions, which The Hedge Knight is the first one, and then The Sworn Sword is the second one. I still want to get the third one, even though it's only sold in hardcover. I don't know why, but like I prefer paperbacks, but it's only sold in hardcover. Either way, that'll be fun to read those. I've of course read the actual novellas, but it'll be fun to read the graphic novels. And then the last two are again George R. R. Martin graphic novels, and these are stories that I have never read before, so it'll be brand new to me. Doorways, which I think, if I remember correctly, is based on a Twilight Zone episode that never got made, or, you know, something like that. I think it's based because George R. R. Martin, back in the 80s, when he basically stopped writing, worked for shows like The Twilight Zone and Beauty and the Beast and stuff like that. So I think this is one of those deals where like he wrote it, but it never got made. So it's a graphic novel now. And then the other one is Starport. This is a graphic novel, but it is a bit on the longer side. It doesn't have page counts, but this one might take me a little while to read. So I might save that one for last, just in case I don't actually get to my 10 book count. So yeah, those are all of the books that I have to read. It's 13 books. I want to get to at least 10 of those. And like I said, the first one I will be reading this morning while I get stuff done around the house is The Test, which I've read this before. I gave it 5 stars. And of course I have the audio so I can listen to it while I'm doing stuff. So yeah, let's go ahead and start this kind of new thing I'm doing. Yeah, hopefully you guys enjoy. Oh yeah, I forgot to clap. You guys want a treat? No, I'll sit. Good girl. Oh. Alright, Duke's already sitting. Good job. Easy. Easy. Ow! You little turd. Eat. You better sit. Take it, eat. No, easy. There you go. Okay. Crazy dogs. See if you guys can catch it. Noelle, sit. Good girl. Want to catch it? There you go. Good girl. Alright, Duke's turn. Sit. You gonna catch it? Good job. Both of y'all. Alright. That's your treats. No. You want another one? Okay, all right, let's see if you can do 2 in a row, Noelle. Gonna catch it? Catch it. Oh, Duke stole it. You little turd. All right, here you go, Noelle. Okay, that's it. No more treats. All right, it's about 9:30 in the morning, and I just finished listening to the audio version of The Test by Sylvain Neville. Still really good. It's such a great novella, and like I said, Sylvain Neville is one of my favorite writers. I think for a novella, this is probably like a top 10 novella for me. Because a lot of the times you can get a novella and it's like either too long or too short, but this one, like, just, it's perfectly paced and it's very tense, and I definitely recommend it to anyone who hasn't checked it out yet. The audiobook is very good, and then just, the novella itself is very good. So that was the first thing I finished, and I'm still trying to decide what to jump into next. Maybe The Ice Dragon by George R.R. Martin, or maybe the Dan Wells thing. I don't know. I'll decide. Tink. What you doing, Tink? Hey, pretty kitty. I've decided to go with The Ice Dragon for book number 2. And this is, it's very short, and it's a short story, but, it's written kind of almost like a kid's book almost. Because it's got like pictures on every page, and the font is really big. So even though it's like 100 pages, it probably will take me like less than an hour to read. So I'm probably going to go with that. I've read this before, and it's one of my favorite George R.R. Martin stories. Really good, and even though it is like The Ice Dragon, and if you've seen, Game of Thrones, the TV show, it's not really related to that because he wrote those back in the 80s. So, yeah, but it's definitely one of my favorites, so I think I'm going to read that next. I just finished The Ice Dragon by George R.R. Martin. Still one of my favorites by him. Just a little short story, but it's really good, and it's just filled with just tons of great pictures throughout. So yeah, I'm done with that. So that's number 2 for my 10 books. And this is the pile of stuff that I can choose from. I think I'm going to go with Dan Wells next. Next of Kin. It says novella, but it's only like 30 pages, so it's more like a short story, but either way, I'm excited to get to it. I just finished Next of Kin by Dan Wells, and like I said, it's the John Cleaver novella short story that takes place before the second trilogy and after the original trilogy. I liked it. I would probably give it like 4 stars or so. It's written in a different perspective than John Cleaver, which all of John Cleaver is written from first person point of view of John Cleaver. So it is a bit different, but I did enjoy it, and I think anybody who enjoys the entirety of the John Cleaver series would get a good kick out of this. So I would recommend it, and that is the 3rd book that I've read. Now I have to figure out what my 4th book will be. Buttons. Very excited. Very loud purr. Ow. Bite me, cat. Ow. What do you keep biting me for? Crazy cat? Alright, next up for me, for number 4, the 4th thing I'm going to read, is George R.R. Martin's Meat House Man. And like I've said, I've read this before. It's based off of a 80s horror sci-fi short story that he wrote way back when. And one of my favorite George R.R. Martin short stories, and it's very fun to get a comic book version of this. I would show y'all pictures of it, but I can't. it's fucked up. But yeah, it's really good, and I'm gonna read it, and it's it's super short. It's a very short comic, so I can get through it very quickly, and that'll be number 4. So I got a bit distracted drumming for a little bit like I usually do every day. But I did manage to finish quickly this comic book, Meat House Man by George R. R. Martin. Very dark. I think it's the second time I've read the comic book version now. It's very dark, and it hits very close to home for George R. R. Martin because kind of similar themes have happened earlier in his life. So that was probably very hard for him to write at the time. But it's very good nonetheless, and so I think that's 4. That's 4 things I've read today. Now I'm gonna try to see what the 5th one will be. Do I want to just keep going on the George R. R. Martin train, or maybe Sterling City by Stephen Graham Jones? I don't know, but you'll see because this video will be out, hopefully, if you're watching this right now. If you're not, I never uploaded it, and I don't know where I'm going with this. Duke. Shh. Duke. All right, so for book number 5, I went with In the House of the Worm by George R. R. Martin. And again, this is a comic book version of a short story that he wrote back in the 80s or late 70s. Can't quite remember. But I do think, even though this was a very cool comic and you get a lot of great visuals, obviously, I do think I prefer the short story just because he goes more into detail about what is going on and what everyone is seeing. Right, for this one, it's just like everything is all visual for you already, and you basically just get like dialogue and inner dialogue. But I kind of prefer George R. R. Martin's prose to anything that can just be like on the page. This is why I don't normally read comic books and graphic novels, by the way, because I much prefer to try to like visualize on my own rather than just have someone interpret it for me. But I remember the short story just being like just so weird, and obviously like if you read this you can tell it's pretty weird. But yeah, so I still enjoyed it. That's book number 5, and now I'm wondering if I should try something new so I don't get burnt out on George R. R. Martin, or just keep riding the George train. That's a weird thing to say. But you'll know in a second. I'm reading Dinosaur Tales by Ray Bradbury, and they have a lot of pictures in them, including this. Good God. That is utterly terrifying. It's about 4:40 in the afternoon. I'm feeling a little burnt out. I've read most of Dinosaur Tales by Ray Bradbury. I decided to pick that up for my 6th book. And I've only got like a couple more stories left, but man, I all of a sudden don't feel like reading anymore. So I think I'm going to take like a little bit of a break and like feed the dogs and then feed myself and then just see if I can get back on track here. But yeah, I think the plan, I think I can still manage to read 10 things. Finish this off. That won't take very long. That'll be number 6. And then, I'm not even looking at the camera, am I? There we go. So yeah, like I said, this would be number 6. And then my plan would be to read Skin Trade by George R.R. Martin, kind of the werewolf novella turned into a comic book. That would be number 7. And then I think Sterling City would go by pretty quickly. It's like 80 pages, I think, novella. That should go by fairly quickly. And then I've got these to choose from. Maybe the manga would be actually easier to read just because it's, you know, it's pictures and not very many words. So even though it's over 200 pages, almost 300 pages, it could go by fairly quickly. But I could do the same thing with The Hedge Knight and The Sworn Sword, which are both Game of Thrones prequel graphic novels. So I could do that. But yeah, I've got options here. But I'm pretty confident that I can manage to read 10 things. Like I said, I'm almost done with Dinosaur Tales, and that'll be number 6. But I'm feeling a little burnt out, so I think I might take a break for a little while. So I have an idea for something that I could do while I'm doing all of that, feeding the dogs and feeding myself. I'm going to listen to the Stephen King new short story that's like exclusively on Scribd. I think that's like an hour, so if I speed that up, that should take like 45 minutes. So I'm going to count that, and because I've been meaning to read that and I just haven't gotten around to it. So today would actually be a very good day to do that. So once I finish Ray Bradbury, that'll be number 6, and then that one will be number 7, and that'll give me actually something to do while I'm doing other stuff. So yeah. All right, so I just finished the Stephen King short story Finn, but I'm very distracted because I just got really great news that Scott Lynch, one of my favorite fantasy authors of one of my favorite fantasy series, The Gentleman Bastards, I was getting excited because I thought we were getting the 4th book, but it turns out we're getting, I think, 3 novellas that are supposed to take place between book 3 and book 4. Either way, I'm super excited to get more Gentleman Bastards content, and I am kind of like just thinking about that now. I'm a bit distracted, but I did finish Finn by Stephen King. Pretty good short story. I won't say like it was an all-time favorite or anything, but I found it very entertaining. I really liked it. It was just an hour on Scribd, and apparently that's the only place you can get it. So if you have Scribd, go check it out. I thought it was a good time. And then, so that was my 6th one, and now my 7th one will be me finishing up Dinosaur Tales. So that'll be number 7, and then after that, we'll see. But for now, let's just finish this bad boy up. Alright, I just wrapped up Dinosaur Tales by Ray Bradbury. One of my favorite authors of all time. And this one, even though it was like 100 pages or so, a lot of it is like pictures, or like, it's like, it has text on it, but like a lot of pictures. So it reads very quickly. And 3 of the short stories I had already read before. A Sound of Thunder, The Foghorn, and Tyrannosaurus Rex. And of course, all of those have to do with dinosaurs. And those stories are some of my favorite Ray Bradbury short stories. So I did really like this. The first story was good, and then it had like kind of 2 poems, kind of. They weren't great. I think he's my favorite all-time short story writer. Poems, I mean, I don't really like poems that much anyway, but yeah, Ray Bradbury, still one of my favorite authors, and I did really enjoy this. And also a big thank you for Andrew, because I think he either got me this for my birthday or for Christmas, and I'm finally getting around to reading it, so thank you, Andrew. And I think the next book I'm going to jump into, because Ray Bradbury was number 7, and for number 8, I'm going to go with Skin Trade by George R. R. Martin. And like I said, this is his werewolf novella turned into a comic book or graphic novel. I don't really know the difference between the two, but either way, it's something. It's relatively short, so it should go by fairly quickly. It's like 640. I mean, I still have plenty of time to finish the 10 books in a day challenge, but I am kind of getting a little burnt out. So hopefully, like, I'm not on like book 9 or 10 and I'm just like, oh, I can't do this. But you know, if I don't get to it, it's not that big a deal, because I've already read 7 things today, which is pretty crazy. So hopefully I can manage to finish. Still, my goal is for 10. I'm probably not going to do any more of that. I'm going to go to sleep after that. So yeah, good luck to me. Okay, so I've started Skin Trade by George R. R. Martin, but I've quickly realized that I need to give my eyes a break. And so luckily I found on my Audible account, I do have a small, short audiobook. It's called Welcome to My Panic by Billy Joe Armstrong, and that name might be familiar to you for Green Day fans. He's the lead singer and guitar player for Green Day. One of my all-time favorite bands. They were like my first band that I got into. They were my first concert. I had all of their CDs. So yeah, it'll be fun to listen to his audio. It's only like an hour and a half, and if I speed it up, it'll be like an hour or less. So I'm going to do that for about an hour. It is 8 o'clock Saturday. Still have time. I still have time to feasibly get these 10 things in. This one, the Billy Joe Armstrong, would be number 8, and then if I go back and do Skin Trade, that'll be number 9. And then after that, I don't know. I don't know. I really don't know if I'll make it, because I'm already kind of tired, but we'll see. Maybe the audiobook will like give my eyes a break, and then maybe I'll go get a snack or a drink or something. I don't know, to wake myself up. So here's hoping. I also just had a bowl of ice cream, which was very good. Very irrelevant, but it is the truth. All right, so I just finished listening to Billy Joe Armstrong's Audible original, Welcome to My Panic, and I really enjoyed it. It was very short, like I said, like an hour and a half, but when I sped it up, it's about an hour. And it was funny too, because like a lot of it was like songs, which I didn't think would be the case. It would be like him talking for like 10 minutes, and then they would play like a random 2-minute Green Day song. So I kept having to like speed up Billy Joe's narration, but then slow it down to when the song was playing, or else the song was just like ridiculously fast, like just like chill the hell out. So yeah, I really liked it though. A lot of the stuff I kind of already knew, but I did get a little bit of new information, which was pretty cool. But yeah, overall I enjoyed it, and that would be my 8th book that I've done so far. I'm getting pretty tired, but I'm going to try to at least get Skin Trade done, and that would be my 9th book. After that, I don't know if I'll be able to get my 10th book in, but who knows? I might be able to get a second wind. I don't know. And there's Duke, passed out on the bed. Little tail wag. Dookie Duke. And here comes Buttons. What you doing, Noelle? Yep, it's official. I'm too tired and my eyes hurt, so no more reading for me. I tried to read a little bit more of the Skin Trade, but my brain and my face, my eyes just won't allow it, so I didn't quite reach my goal. My goal was to read 10 books, 10 short little things today. I managed to read 8, read and listen to. So, not bad, but anyway, I'm still happy with myself. I read 8 out of 10, so that's pretty good. Didn't quite reach my goal, but I did read a lot of great stuff. I reread some of the things, and yeah, I read some really good stuff, and I think I'm running out of things to say because I'm very tired. But yeah, hopefully you guys enjoy this video. If you do, please give it a thumbs up and consider subscribing to my YouTube channel, The Bookish Drummer, and consider joining my Discord at Bookish Drummer Discord. And if you'd like to further support me financially, go check out my Patreon page and see what that's all about. But anyway, thank you guys so much for watching this. I hope it turned out decent. Like I said, I don't really do vlogs, so hopefully it's not terrible. But anyway, thank you guys so much for watching and have a terrific day.